and welcome to day number 11 of our Christmas Advent yoga sessions. So today we are going to be doing a back mobilizing flow, and this is going to also work into engaging the thighs and opening out the chest and the shoulders. This is because we are going to be working into our wheel pose in the second part of our session today. So it is advised that anyone who has suffered from any neck, back, wrist, shoulder or knee injuries, potentially ankles as well, it might be advised that this pose is not for you today, but please still join in the flow and I will provide an alternative asana for you to perform at the end. But if you do want to give it a go today, fantastic, but just make sure that you really listen to the instructions and you take your time. I will obviously be providing you a step-by-step guide, but I am not there in order to help you or to assist you. So you do need to listen to your own body when performing this pose. But let's make a start. And if you do use a block or a strap, please go and grab that now and pause this video. And we will begin seated on our mats, either on a block or a cushion or a bolster if you wish to lengthen the spine even more. And I will see you there. Okay, so just starting with your legs crossed, sitting up nice and tall. Close the eyes and just begin to relax the body, taking in deep breaths, ensuring that the chin is parallel to the floor. And begin to rotate the shoulders forwards and back, keeping the spine nice and long. You can sit on a block if you wish to lengthen the spine. Tilting the head to the right shoulder, drawing the ear towards the shoulder, ensuring it's not coming up towards the ear, and then going over to the left side. And just doing this a couple of times, just to stretch out through the sides of the neck. Taking the arms all the way out, interlace the fingers, turn the palms up towards the ceiling. Ensuring the shoulders are down, away from the ears. Stretching through the palms and the wrists, leaning over to the right side as you slowly breathe out. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale, go over to the left hand side. Arrive back up in the center and lower the arms down, interlace the fingers behind you, drawing the shoulder blades back and down. Option to lift the arms to open out the chest a little bit more if you want to, or placing your hands onto your lower back. Again, taking the arms out to the side, interlace the fingers and turn the palms up towards the sky and slowly release. We're then going to stretch through the spine, walking the fingertips forwards, lowering the chest down towards the earth, making sure we're not coming up onto our glutes. And arriving here on your mat. And you can use a block, a bolster, a cushion for a little bit of extra support if you wish. Taking in deep breaths. And slowly making your way back up to a seated position. Keeping your left hand down on the earth, rotate out to the side by lifting up your right arm towards the ceiling and then switching to the other side. Just coming into a little twist. And then draw the shoulders back and forwards. Placing the hands down onto the mat, coming up onto all fours. Making sure that the knees are underneath the hips. Wrists are underneath the shoulders in your tabletop position. Draw in through the navel as you press into the earth, round the spine, separating the shoulder blades, coming into cat and then easing into your cow pose. Gazing forwards as we begin to oscillate through the spine, working through each vertebrae, and slowly warming up, connecting the movement with our breath. Doing this a couple of times, perhaps you wish to hold one of the stretches for longer or you wish to keep moving. Inhaling, lifting up with the right arm, gaze up towards the sky. Exhale, feed that right arm all the way underneath your left, coming into your thread the needle pose. Your left hand can stay grounded where it is, or you can extend it forwards along to the front of your mat, to the side to meet your right hand, or you can loop that left hand around the back, opening out the shoulder a little bit more. And just ensuring that we're not holding any tension anywhere else in the body. Release your left hand, place it down onto the earth, and slowly push your way through the mat, coming back to tabletop. And then we go again on the other side when you're ready. Just maybe easing into a little few twists, and then lifting up with the left arm. Exhale, feed it through underneath the right, coming down to the left shoulder. Right arm can come forwards to the side, or looping around the back, just touching the left thigh. And then very slowly, when you feel ready to, you can start to unloop that right arm if it is round behind, perhaps stretching it forwards and relaxing here, bringing yourself back up to tabletop pose. Begin to round through the spine again into cat and cow, easing between each position, drawing the navel in into your cat pose and exhale into cat. As we make our way into puppy pose, we're going to start to walk the fingertips forwards and lower the chest down towards the earth. The glutes are staying above the knees. Now, if you're finding that your knees are becoming a little bit sore here, you can come back up and roll your mat under your knees to give a little bit more protection. If you're wanting to ease into a deeper stretch as well, you can rest the forearms on a block or a bolster or a cushion, just to keep the arms lifted up a little bit, and so you can sink the chest a little bit lower than the arms. So this will take you into a deeper stretch. Or perhaps you just wish to rest here with the arms stretched out as you're extending into puppy pose. Begin to slowly make your way back up, grabbing hold of a strap. And so just sitting onto the back of the glutes. First of all, just interlace the fingers behind the chest, just open out the heart, and again drawing the shoulder blades back and down, and then release. Grabbing hold of your strap now, we're going to take the strap into folding it in half. Take the strap out so it is just a little bit further away than shoulder width, and start to lift the arms up and back down, maintaining that straight spine as you lift the arms up, chest forwards, exhale, lower the arms down, and just doing this rotation a couple of times, just being mindful of how your shoulders are feeling. Perhaps it's a little bit too much to extend them all the way back. And just going as many times as you want, and then take the strap in wider now. And see if you can take that strap all the way up and over and behind. So inhale, lifting up, exhale, release the strap behind you. So you're just getting a bit more of a full rotation through the shoulders. Ensure you're not holding any tension through the hands, and just be mindful of your shoulders as to how far you go. Just come back up onto all fours, extend into your downward dog, and slowly ease down one heel at a time. Gently easing into your downward dog. Perhaps taking your dog for a little walk. Rising up onto the toes, bend the knees, and then slowly lower the heels down. And we're just doing that a couple of times. Begin to roll forwards, sink the hips down, coming into cobra. So lower the hips and the knees down to the earth, and then exhale, push back into downward dog. And then going again, rounding through the spine, rippling forwards, slowly lowering the hips down again. Keeping that spine nice and long. Tuck the toes under, exhale, push back. And so coming just forwards, again, easing into the hips, feeling strong through the arms. Exhale, push back into your downward dog. Inhale, lifting up with the right leg. Doesn't have to go very high. Rise up onto the left toes, draw the right knee in, gazing forwards. Then when you're ready, step that foot through, planting it into the earth and making sure knee is over ankle. Find your balance as you lift up into a crescent lunge, a high lunge, keeping the shoulders soft. Now you can either stay facing the front or come into a twist towards that right leg, taking your right arm all the way back and left arm forwards. Another option is to come into that reverse warrior pose with the twist, lifting both arms back up to face the front, sinking the hips down. Bring the hands down to frame the foot and then extend with your right arm up towards the sky. You have an option to drop that back knee if you want to. Bring your right hand back down to frame the foot, just ease back with the glutes, just extending that leg, coming forwards again, lifting that back knee, and then rising back up. Coming into your twist again, repeating on the other side, same side. And then cartwheeling the arms straight over, easing back into your twist, lifting up with that right arm. Bring the right arm back down, exhale into Adho Mukha. Pedaling through the knees, lifting up with the left leg. Rise up onto the right toes, draw that left knee in, hover for a moment, and then step the foot through. And then focusing forwards, push through that front foot, rising up into a high lunge. Take a deep breath in and exhale. We come into that option of a twist. We can slowly bring that left hand down towards the right leg, coming into that reverse pose. Holding for as long or as little as you want, finding that balance. And then cartwheeling the arms over, coming into your twist. Option to drop the back knee if you want to. Bring the hand down, lift the back knee. Focusing forwards, push all the way back up into your high lunge. Exhale, come into a twist. Second option to come into that reverse pose. Ensuring you're not also putting any weight into that left hand. It's just resting on the back leg. Cartwheeling the arms all the way back over. And then extending up with the left arm, gazing up towards that hand. Into your twist again. Bring the left hand down. And then walk your left foot to the side of your mat, bringing the hands to the inside of the foot. And just ease now into your lizard lunge. Ensure that your left foot is 45 degrees. And you can then come into your lizard pose. You have an option to use the block or come down to forearms, making sure that your left knee is over ankle. Trying not to hold any tension anywhere else in the body and just gazing forwards. Slowly come back up to center, walk the foot in. So your foot is now in the middle. You're going to extend your left arm all the way around behind you and look towards that right foot. And then you have an option to try and bring that right foot up towards the left hand and hold. So you're coming into also a thigh stretch here. Releasing that left hand down, framing the foot, step back into your downward facing dog. Then we lift up with the right leg again, draw that knee in, step the foot to the outside of your right hand. Ease down into your lizard lunge and you can again twist, looking from side to side, easing the glutes forwards and back. And then gently easing into lizard pose, coming either down to a forearms or staying up on your hands or coming to a block, a cushion, a bolster. making sure your right knee is over ankle and the foot is 45 degrees. Slowly come back up to center, walk your foot in, and then you're going to take your right hand all the way around towards that left foot if you wish to make that bind. Again, stretching through the quads. Release the hand down, frame the foot, draw that right knee in, coming into tabletop. Coming back into your cat and cow for a couple of rounds. And then taking the hands a little bit further forward, still shoulder width apart, engage the core, chaturanga, lower down to your mat. Inhale up to a cobra. Exhale, lower the chest down towards the mat. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, release back down. And then taking the hands one on top of the other, shaking out the hips. We're just going to do a couple of those movements that we did a few days ago when we were coming into our locust pose. So just take the hands to the side for a moment, palms then facing down. Try and see if you can just lift up the upper body and lower straight back down. Just doing this a couple of times just to strengthen out the back. Be mindful of your body as to how many times you do this. And then begin to lift one leg up at a time as well. Easing one leg up and slowly lower. Then see if you can lift both up at the same time. Shake out the hips between each round. And this isn't our main focus for today, so you don't have to do many or hold them for long at all. But then as you ease yourself back into child's pose, come through that cat pose and rest here in child's position with the arms stretched out in front. And so we're going to be coming into wheel pose. So again, be really mindful if you do have any injuries through the neck, shoulder, wrist, back. You may benefit from staying in bridge. So please listen to the instructions carefully and just be mindful of your body. And also, because if anyone is pregnant, I advise you not to be coming into wheel pose, or anyone that's had any abdominal injuries or any recent surgery. So you may benefit from just working into bridge, which I will also show you too. Okay, so now you're going to come all the way up and lie down onto your back. Draw the feet in towards the glutes and drop the knees from the right and the left side just a couple of times. And so we're going to work into our poses for today. We have our bridge pose, but also we have wheel. So you have an option if you don't wish to do wheel, you can stay in bridge. But make sure feet are hip distance apart and you can touch the back heel with your fingers. And then slowly come up onto the back of the shoulders, engaging the core, pushing through the floor with the feet, and exhale, lower down. And then we go again, very slow, lifting up, coming up onto the back of the shoulders. There should be no pressure through the head or the neck as you come up into bridge. And you should ensure that the knees are staying in line with the hips. They're not going all the way out towards the side. And then you have an option as you're in bridge to lift one leg up from the hip joint and then place the foot back down. And then when you feel ready, lifting up with the other leg. Extending from the hip, place the foot down. And I always advise if you wish to then go again, just lower down, draw the knees in towards the chest and realign the feet. As you lift yourself back up again, you have another option of just extending from the knee. So you're keeping the hip more in line, and the extension with the leg lift is coming from the knee instead of the hip. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the thighs, and lower back down. Hug the knees into the chest. Okay, so we're now going to work ourselves into our wheel pose, and as I previously mentioned, just be really mindful of your body, and if you have any of those injuries previously mentioned, or if you're pregnant or have had any recent stomach surgery, please avoid this pose. So we're just going to bring the hands by the ears, making sure that they are firmly down. They're not too far away from the body, and they're not also right underneath the shoulders. You want to have them more about where the ears are. Your feet are also going to be hip distance apart. You may also feel you want to just stretch through the wrists, give them a little bit of a shake first. So double check the alignment of the feet, making sure that they're hip distance apart. Bring the hands towards where the ears are so that they're not going too far back, and begin to lift the hips up. So really send the hips up towards the sky. Squeeze the glutes, lift the hips. You might do this a couple of times, lifting the hips higher, and that might be as far as you go. Next step is to press the crown of the head onto the earth and then slowly come back down, drawing the knees back in. So that position of the head being placed on the earth, just be really mindful not to have a lot of pressure through the head at that point. If you're then feeling stronger, place the hands just about where the ears are. Lift the hips up, send them high, and press through the hands coming up into your wheel pose. So the chest is lifted, spine is long, hips are also lifted as well. You can stay here for as long or as little as you want. Your knees are above your ankles. Fingertips are facing the end of your mat. Slowly lowering back down and draw the knees in towards the chest. And just take it into a little rock from side to side, coming into a supine twist. So I always advise that you hold this for as long as your body feels, as long as it feels right for your body. So if you're feeling any pain at all, please come straight out of this pose. And you also don't have to repeat it again, but I'll again guide you through it. So again, making sure feet are facing the front of the mat. Bring the hands next to the ears. Begin to lift up into your wheel pose, pushing through the earth through the hands. Lifting the chest, hips are also lifted, and then slowly make your way back down. And then hug the knees back in again. So later on, we may do another position or have this as a transition from our wild thing as we move through our Advent yoga. We may look at lifting the legs up as well. But we also just don't want to overdo it today. We've been working through the back quite a bit, so just hug those knees in towards the chest, coming into any twist, listen to your body. And then release back down, palms facing up. You can strengthen the legs if you want to, or you can keep them bent and perhaps keep the knees in. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Namaste. Thank you for joining in today. Don't forget to hit subscribe in order to follow the remainder of our Christmas Advent yoga sessions. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Namaste.